Via Skype, we've got the CEO of the Wild Sheep Society of British Columbia, Kyle Stelter. How's it going, Kyle?
Awesome, Rod. Thanks for having me on today.
I really appreciate you coming on with us as well. Okay, so we kind of met up a little while back. The Wild Sheep Society made a donation to the CCFR, which we appreciate. I can't tell you how much. And so we've gotten a chance to kind of meet up and get to know each other a little bit. And who knew that the Wild Sheep Society, the Wild Sheep guys, were really interested in this fight going on. Tell us a little bit about your organization so people can get acquainted.
Yeah, you bet, Rod. We have roughly 1,400 members and predominantly a British Columbia-based organization, but we have members all across North America and beyond, to be honest. Lots in the U.S. and certainly a lot throughout Canada. Our mission is to look after British Columbia's wild sheep and their habitat. So that's what we do. That's our mandate. But, we're made up of consumptive users. We're, predominantly hunters that are in the backcountry that care about wild sheep and conservation. A lot of our mission is focused on habitat re-enhancement work. We've done transplants, controlled burns, anything that's wild sheep centric where we like to be involved in. And we kind of pride ourselves that we do work for wild sheep in every jurisdiction across British Columbia. So if there's sheep in your region, we're probably doing a project there. So our members are very focused, very driven. One of our claims to fame this past year, we put $629,000 into wild sheep conservation of our own money and a heck of a lot more with our partners. So we have a number of initiatives, one of which is our One Campfire initiative, which is trying to create awareness around hunting and its relevance in this modern space. And some of the fights that you're fighting, I think, align closely with ours in many ways, Rod.
Yeah, well, the idea that hunting is under attack as a culture, as a part of Canadian culture, the cultural landscape, it really is. And I think your community, my community, just people that are sport shooters and collectors and even hunters that own a lot of guns. I think we've been in denial for a long time, but we see it, and I'm glad that you guys are doing that work. Funny story, when we first connected, you had come up with a donation for the CCFR, which I was like, this is great, and I had not heard of your organization because most people know I'm not a hunter. And then you're like, well, you should come to the convention. And I said, well, the Kamloops one is somewhere I can show up to. And, embarrassingly, I'm like, well, do you want me to do anything? And you said, no, that's fine. And I said, well, I just want to come and support you guys because I appreciate the help. And so I had expected, I don't know, as I said to you before, like 60 guys, at a gun club or something like that. And so my wife and I went to the convention and we rolled in there and there's like 500 people there. And it was a first class event with, vendors and a huge banquet room and a big stage. And I'm showing some pictures of it now. It was just such a professional event. It was incredible. And so I thank you so much for inviting me there. But one of the things I want to just mention is, what was really cool to see was so many young people. Like, I bet you, and you'll know the number, so we didn't rehearse this in advance, but I would think that more than half of the people were young couples, probably under 40. Like, do you have an idea of what those real numbers were?
Yeah, our demographic certainly is a younger crowd. It's certainly, we go back to our organization is 30 years old now. In the early days, it was, we've still got a lot of those members around. So they're kind of like the headship of the organization. But I think through our conservation work and the work that we do on the landscape resonates with a younger crowd, and people are seeing that, we advocate for sportsmen and women, and we advocate for that aspect of it, but we also put our money where our mouth is when it comes to conservation. And I think that really resonates with that younger crowd. So we certainly get a lot of buy-in, and yeah, it's certainly over 50% of our membership is in that 40 or younger demographic, and some very young members. Our highest level membership is our Monarch member, and we just signed up a young man that's I believe he's 12 over the weekend. So lots of buy-in, lots of support, multi-generational, and it's really exciting.
Well, I would imagine part of the reason for that is you got to be able to climb up those mountains to get the sheep.
Yeah, that's certainly part of it. Yeah,
I got some bad news for you right now. I don't think I'm ever going to be a sheep hunter. So I'm just trying to climb into my truck and out of my truck to come here to do this stuff. So I'd be I could, if you had an award for the least accomplished sheep hunter, I could qualify for that one maybe.
Well, we have spots for everybody there, and I guess the cool thing is that a lot of our group isn't even sheep hunters, right? You know, some of them are consumptive users and they are hunters for sure. But, you know, there's people that don't hunt in our midst as well. And people really care about our mission. Our mission is first and foremost a conservation group. But again, back to your point, we are a group made up of consumptive users and hunters predominantly.
Yeah. Well, like, as I said, it was an incredibly professional event, and I'm extremely impressed with your organization and what you're doing too. We've shown throughout our chat, we've shown some B-roll of a video that your organization made, and you showed that video at the banquet, and it was really interesting to see the amount of work that you guys do, and it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, you know, I think that's our one claim to fame that we, I guess, stands us out from, quote, like another gun club or, you know, another, you know, Rod and Gun Club, for example. And they're all doing great work, but our real focus is trying to make sure that the work we're doing is supporting the landscape, making sure that there's wild sheep. And I think everybody that supports our mission and what we do believes in seeing healthy wild sheep in the landscape. And, you know, look at British Columbia. What other organization is dedicated to one specific resource, which is great, but it's also a curse because people say, well, why would I help wild sheep? Because I don't hunt sheep, or I don't really, whatever. It's not that I don't care about them, but I care about all these other species. But, you know, wild sheep is a key, like a landmark species. If wild sheep are doing well, most of the other species are doing well as well. So, you know, when you're supporting wild sheep, you're supporting all the animals on the landscape, not just wild sheep. So that's kind of our argument to that. But we certainly get a little bit of pushback on that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I got one more question for you. We got about 45 seconds left. What's it like trying to convince hunters that they have a dog in the fight when it comes to the government's agenda to take firearms away from basically everybody?
Well, I think that's where we're on the same page, right? And, you know, that's one thing we've tried to articulate is we have to stick together when it comes to messaging. We've seen it with grizzly bears. We've seen it with firearm control in this country. We have to be better. We have to stand up for one another. And maybe, yeah, we're not a sports shooter. Maybe we don't have a pistol, but we have to think about that there's people that don't want us to have any of this. They want to take it all away. So, you know, that's the one thing we articulate. Let's look out for everybody. You know, let's look out for all of our interests and not be so myopic. And yeah, maybe you're not a grizzly bear or a sheep hunter or a pistol owner, but we have to think about those people and support them as well.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that thought, because we have to stand together. That's the only way that we have any power in this fight. All right. Really quick, how do people find you and your organization?
Check us out, wide webs, your friend, wildsheepsociety.com. And we're on all the socials as well. Just look up Wild Sheep Society. You'll find us there. And, you know, we want all of you as our membership. We want to do what we can. And we'd love to have you as a member. And just like, you know, the CCFR, keep up the great work. We need to support you guys too, and appreciate all you do.
Well, I appreciate the help, and I appreciate you coming on today.
Thank you, Rod. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Kyle.
If you don't stand up for your own ability to own and use firearms, who will? Join the CCFR or donate right now at www.firearmrights.ca.